guys, this is Demi here, aka Astro Dim, and I just wanted to give you guys a little taste, a little synopsis, a little more information about Lilith. So let's get started. Lilith is 3 points within astrology. If we go deeper than that, it's actually, it's not quite mythology, but it's a biblical story where the first woman came. Everyone thinks that when it comes to Abrahamic religion, the first woman was Eve. It wasn't. It was Lilith. So people who are really into not even astrology, but also any Abrahamic religion that are like this, like really, really deep into the religion, they know that Lilith was actually the first woman. So with Lilith, just like Adam, she was made from the ground, made from the dirt. So there was some equality there. And Lilith, she definitely was more assertive person. Just like Adam, she was like, I was made out of dirt too. I can do whatever I want, just like you can, Adam. And so they got into a lot of arguments when it came to, I guess the patriarchy that Adam wanted within the world. So one instance, Adam and her was going to engage in sex, and Adam wanted to be on top, but Lilith's like, no, let me be on top. And it became a big, huge argument. So Adam came to God and was like, hey, can you fix the situation over here? She's kind of wilding. And God went ahead and talked to Lilith. Lilith was infuriated. She got mad, left the Garden of Eden and was like, you know what? Forget all of y'all. I'm going to just do my own thing. And a couple of times God sent angels to come get her. She said, no, I don't want to come back. Now, this part, it depends on who you talk to. Some people say that she actually, murdered people, killed babies, was extremely promiscuous, was just all the bad things of the of the Abrahamic religion. So she did all of that, and she was just angry. She felt so suppressed, and she wanted to just be herself, and she wasn't allowed to be herself, and so she reacted in that type of way out of the anger. When everything calmed down, she kind of just went off to her own self, but then someone would make her angry again, and she did the same thing. And so that's the story of Lilith. And when you think about the 3 points in astrology, that's what they represent. That whole story about a woman being suppressed, a woman seeking revenge and what they do afterwards. It's, those 3 points do match with the story pretty well. So with that being said, I'm going to talk a little bit more about those 3 points and what they represent within the story. So with that Lilith story, you notice there's 3 parts. When she felt suppressed, when Adam kind of wanted to do things his way and his way only, really pushing that patriarchy. There's a second point when she seeked her revenge. She left the Garden of Eden. God sent angels. She did not come back. She was just like, no. And then she went and reacted in an exaggerated way, right? And then the third, it's like, what do you do after all of it's done? So what she did was chilled out, relaxed, kind of hid into like a cave or something, and just was by herself and just was reflecting on everything. But then she went out and got crazy again if someone pissed her off. So those 3 points, or those 3 acts of the story, matches up with the 3 examples of Lilith in astrology. Asteroid Lilith represents when a woman feels suppressed, what they feel suppressed about, and just all the issues that are connected with that suppression. Dark Moon Lilith is when she seeks revenge, what actions does she take, where does she take these actions in her life to seek revenge for being suppressed. And then lastly, Black Moon Lilith is what does she do after the storm has settled and she calms down and reflects on just her suppression, what she have done or what she has done, and just all of that, and what she does afterwards, after all the suppression, all of the issues that she caused, and all the issues that was brought upon her. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys just a little information about Lilith before I giving you an example. I'm going to use myself as an example. I hope it really is helpful, because I really feel that Lilith is strong within my life for sure. So guys, before we get started and explain how Lilith applies in my life, I want to tell you and show you how to go to astro.com and find Lilith in your chart. So you're going to go to astro.com, go to the extended chart selection, and then all the way down in the black space bar, you're going to type in 1181 for asteroid Lilith, H13 for black moon Lilith, and for dark moon Lilith, you choose H58. So there are options in, I guess, one of the boxes above where you can select like fixed stars, asteroids, and stuff like that. You do not want to choose that Lilith because it's just the mean orbit of Lilith. Same as H21. If you type it in the blank bar, that's just the mean orbit. We don't want the mean orbit. We want where Lilith actually was when you were born. We don't want a little calculation of where it could have been. Don't use that. Use the ones I listed for. So again, it's asteroid Lilith is 1181, black moon Lilith is H13, and lastly, dark moon Lilith is H58. I also want to describe too real quick what these things are in the sky. Asteroid Lilith is an asteroid. It's just simple as that. It's literally an asteroid that just goes around the sun like any other asteroid. Black moon Lilith is actually quite interesting. So black moon Lilith is a thing. Some people say it's a space in the sky. Some people say it's an actual figure, an actual gas. Some people say they've seen it. Some people say they didn't. It's a really weird situation, but it's basically a spot in the sky between Earth and the lunar's apogee. And a lunar apogee is basically the lunar's orbit, the furthest part of the lunar's or the moon's orbit. So again, so let's say like this is Earth. This is like the furthest part of the orbit, and somewhere in the middle is the black moon Lilith. Yeah, it's interesting, but it really does change the attitude of a person. It really does. And then lastly, dark moon Lilith is kind of like a cloudy spherical thing that's in the sky too. That's another thing that some people see and some people don't. It's weird, but I think it's actually been identified as a real thing. Weird stuff, right? So it's kind of like secretive and eerie, kind of like how Lilith is. It's kind of cool, right? Anyways, let's get started with how Lilith actually works out in my life. So asteroid Lilith in my chart is in 2 degrees Virgo in the 7th house. I have a huge 7th house, so I have, even though the house ruler is Leo, it goes into a big chunk of Virgo too. So it's actually 2 degrees Virgo in my chart. Now again, when it comes to asteroid Lilith, it's basically how I feel suppressed. So in this instance, it really is true. I do often feel suppressed in relationships, because again, we're talking about the 7th house, in relationships and any type of partnership. So this can be like a work with like partnership with me and a boss, me and a friend, anything like that. I feel suppressed when it comes to routines, because Virgo represents everyday routines, workout, like the everyday daily things that we do. And that is so true in my life. A lot of times when we talk about romantic relationships, I feel so suppressed when a guy kind of wants to do routine things like, hey, let's make sure we like go every like Saturday and Friday to the basketball court. There's going to be days where I don't want to. You know what I mean? I just hate routine so bad. I hate traditional relationships. And this sounds funny because coming from a Capricorn, but hear what I'm saying. I am all about monogamy, all about building a family and relationships. But when it comes to what like a woman's supposed to do, type, like I don't connect with that at all. It's really frustrating when a man says, well, hey, I want you to work, but can you like take care of the kids and cook and do all this, and I don't fit in that mold at all. A lot of traditional things that people do in relationships, I can't do. But being a Capricorn has its limits. So, I'm not going to be okay with an open relationship. I'm not going to be okay with you cheating. There's certain things where I'm like, okay, like I don't like traditional relationships, but I'm not going to go that far. But when it comes to like a man trying to tell me what to do or ruin my routine or my life or my dreams or my plans, no, I dart out. Like I cannot deal at all. So I definitely express myself in that situation too. I'm like, well, I was doing this all this time. Why do I have to change? Why I have to do what you want to do? It actually works the same with jobs too. So if I go into a job and there are certain rules and regulations and I agree with it and I'm like, all right, I'll take this job, and then all of a sudden in like 6 months it changes, hate it, and I will be ready to go. I'm usually flexible and go with the flow with certain things, but other things I'm like, but I did not sign up for this. So it not only works romantically, but it works also with any type of partnership or relationship that one may have. So next is Dark Moon Lilith. Let's talk about that. Dark Moon Lilith is where we seek revenge. And my Dark Moon Lilith is in 18 degrees Cancer in the 6th house. So I will explain that as I seek revenge through emotional manipulation, or I initiate the emotional manipulation in that person's everyday life. So I know it sounds bad, but let me explain myself. So in my chart, I have a lot of Earth, like it's basically Capricorn. So I'm not gonna emotionally manipulate someone that much, but what I do, I consider it is considered emotional manipulation. When I seek revenge, when I am pissed off in a relationship, and when I'm done, I will ignore a person. Now you say, hey, Capricorns do that. Capricorns are known for like cutting people off, but I do it to the extreme a bit. With me, I actually not only cut them off because I don't want them in my life, but I enjoy seeing them quiver from it. Like I enjoy seeing them like pissed off and mad at me and then sad and then keep texting me, and like it's funny to me. I feel like, haha, now you know how I feel. You were suppressing me, now I'm going to suppress you. You can't have any relationship or communication with this. Which is like, yeah, it sounds a little crazy, but it works for me. It really does. It sets a point. A lot of times, I'm not going to lie, like, guys would be like, I still don't understand what I did, but they know they did something wrong. And I use that moment to not only reflect myself, but let them reflect on what you did wrong in this relationship. Remember the things that I've talked about continuously on what I wanted you to do and what I needed to feel happy. And remember that you didn't do that, even though I begged you to. Simmer on that, chill on that, and get back to me when you get your mind right. So yeah, I mean, it is a sort an example of emotional manipulation, because again, I'm cutting all communication off with me just so you can reflect on your life. But it's also for me as well. I'm not going to deny this. When I cut someone off, I don't want to talk to them ever again. But I'm hoping that they learn from the relationship that they have with me. And eventually, if they finally get it, and if I'm okay, like if I want to talk to them, we can speak on it. But again, like that doesn't mean that I want to be a friend again. Like I want you to leave me alone after that. That's when the Capricorn sneaks in. But yeah, definitely emotional manipulation on that part for sure. So my Black Moon Lilith is in 21 degrees Leo in the 7th house. So I will explain that as I express my ego, personality, and reactions to what you have done and what I've experienced in the relationship between me and the person. So, for instance, a better way to explain that would be, after the storm has settled and everything, if the person wants to like come to me, apologize, realize what they did, or they just want to talk to me, and I feel that there's actually some sincerity about it, like they're sincere about the situation, not just a guy wants to talk back to me just so they can talk to me. Like if they're really sincere and really want to know what they did wrong and what went wrong, I will go ahead and talk to them, explain my reactions, explain my situation, how I felt about it in the relationship, just so they can get and learn from it. And then again, I'm back to ignoring you. So it is true, like even when, like before the point after I ignore the guy, I definitely express myself over and over again, like I don't like this, I don't like that, like please don't do this, this really bothers me, let's work on that. Like I definitely express myself. The issue is when I keep expressing myself and nothing's happening, that's when the dark moon Lilith comes through and shuts it down. But I use my black moon Lilith before I completely ignore people, for sure. I express myself continuously in a relationship on what I like and what I don't like. And that is absolutely true in this situation as well. So that's my explanation of Lilith, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope this information is helpful. If you're interested in a reading, holla at me. I got you, okay? I would love to explain how Lilith works with you. And just look at my information down here and I'll be able to help you, okay, loves? See you later. Bye.